Hello, everybody, and I want to show you something very interesting today. I want to put it to you that Earth and Mars, if you pick the right spots, are very similar looking. Okay, and I want to talk about that and give you some food for thought. Okay, I'm going to share screens because what I want to do is I want to go onto Google Earth and Google Mars, and let's take a look. Okay, we're going to start with Google Mars. So there's Mars, and we're like what? Let's look at my mouse. Going down here, we're 5,560 kilometers away. Okay, but let's zoom in, and we're going to go to 50 kilometers, and we're going to see what we see. And look at that. There's little green men on Mars. Oh, it is true. It's no longer a speculation. There's little green men on Mars. Look at that. There's the proof right there. It's right there on the satellite image of Mars. Little green men. Okay, let's keep going. Must be a touristy area or something. Okay. Right, so we're at 84.42 kilometers. Let's go in a bit more. Okay, we're going in a bit close now. I want to kind of come out a little bit because I decided that what we're going to do is we're going to go 50. We're going to do the same on Earth and on Mars. Okay, so hang on, yeah, I'm going back. There you go. So we're about 50. There we go, 50.14. Can't ask for more than that. So let's just have a look around. Okay, so what do we see here? We see a lot of rugged landscape. You know, there is potential there, but you know, we can't actually see anything. We can't see signs of life, but we can see things that are worth further investigation. I mean, we can see lots of ruggedness, mountains, craters, lots of lines here, which, you know, a lot of people speculate they're old riverbeds, you know. Okay, but let's move on. Let's go to Google Earth. So we're going to Google Earth, but what we're going to do, tell it like a little story. So these little green men on Mars, they've decided they're going to go out to space to the nearest planet to them, and they decided that they're going to take satellite pictures and report to their citizens and to their news networks their findings and show pictures and what have you. Now they're flying towards Earth and think, oh shit, it's green and it's blue, looks like it's got life on it, so they can't have that. You know, they don't need to send that kind of message home. So I can imagine they can blend that all into one dull kind of red tinge. Some people speculate that there's like a red filter used on the cameras in Mars and it's looking red. I mean, people say, oh yeah, Mars has got blue sky, and that's quite different, but the pictures that we get, it looks like red, and that's why we call it the red planet, you know. And I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't know if that's true or whether it's genuinely red. Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. But it can certainly be done. It can certainly be done. You can certainly, I mean, these are all bright and brilliant colours. I mean, you can certainly make it look dull if you want and take away, you know, so that you can't see the blue ocean and what have you, and the green. Okay, so let's do the same thing. But what we're going to do, let's give this a fair chance, right? There's lots and lots of barren, dry desert on the Earth, okay? And we're going to go, and I'm going to show you a city from 50 kilometers in a minute as well. Okay, let's just do this first. So I'm going to zoom in to what I suspect is going to look similar to Mars. I hope it doesn't backfire on me. Okay, so we're at 174. Now, to me, personally, right, this looks, okay, and we're going to take a little look around. So we're not just in one little spot. There we go, we're at 50 kilometers. But I don't know about, oh, hang on, what am I doing? Oh my goodness. Hang on, zoom out. This to me looks even less lifelike than Mars itself. If I was to pick which planet has probably got some potential for some things going on in the place, I would say Mars looks like an even better candidate than the Earth. You know, if I didn't know any better. Okay, we're at 48.31, so we're actually a bit closer. So, you know, for this test, it's obviously, you know, in favour of the arguments. Okay, so I'm going around. Okay, and now I'm getting to see some ruggedness, some mountains. There's like no life. Okay. Now on Mars, we see the rover. So we see pictures actually on the ground. It's not from a satellite. It's on the ground. It's driving around at ground level, and we see the rocks at ground level, and we see things, and we see barrenness. We see nothingness. We could put a rover. These Martians, these little green men, they could come down here and land a rover, and they can drive around and see the same thing for hundreds and hundreds of miles. They land in the right spot. They can drive around for thousands of miles and just see this. Okay, rocks, mountains, valleys, you know, very little. I mean, they can easily avoid camera shots of a cactus or a few trees or whatever, or certainly edit the footage, but they wouldn't have to do a whole lot of that. There's just a lot of dead, dry, barren. I mean, look at this. I've covered like hundreds of miles with my mouse, okay, and there's nothing. Okay, but let's try something just to make my case even stronger. Okay, and I'll tell you my point in just a moment. Okay, but let's go to a city. Okay, let's go to a city. Let's just type one. Okay, all right. I already experimented this earlier. Okay, so Bristol, that's the place I was born. Bristol in the UK. So I'm going to zoom into Bristol here. Okay, right, and that way down to 23 kilometers. Let's just go up to about 50. Okay, now you can make out some grey. If you look closely, you can surmise that there's like roads, but we see shapes like this on Mars, and we say, oh, well, it's just little grooves in the landscape. Okay, we know that they're roads, but they just look like the Martian grooves. We can make this a dull greyish, reddish thing, and you wouldn't think that there was any fields or grass or trees or anything. You certainly can't see trees, you can't see any foliage, you just see landscape, but it just so happens to be green. Okay, this could just be a different shade. You cannot make out any buildings whatsoever. Obviously, these little green Martian men, if they're like trying to cover up life on Earth, they're not going to land a buggy right there, are they? Because they will see buildings, but they don't have to, because there's plenty of place to explore without going near the populace. Now, I'm not saying it's the case. Well, if you do believe that Mars is populated, that's a different story. That's a different subject, different video. But what I will say is that, you know, you can easily go to any planet and see nothing if you want. Very easily see nothing. Okay, this is all populated. I know all this area. I mean, yes, there's countryside, but this is all populated. Okay, and this happens to be high resolution as well. And you know, you go to any planet, explore it. I would say that easily, if you didn't want it to be disclosed that there's life there, which obviously the governments of this world don't, they're not ready yet to disclose like full transparency and full disclosure. Well, no, yet some people say it's on the cards, but at this point in time and throughout history, to spill the beans entirely. So you know what? They don't have to. They can give the illusion that we're exploring space, we're sending out probes and satellites and everything else, and that satisfies the public, and it satisfies them, and they think, okay, right, cool, they're looking for life, they're going out, they're seeing what they can find, and people don't question the information that they're fed. Okay, and I'm just showing you here. You know, it could very easily. I can live on the Earth. I could prove to you that there's on Earth. Okay, just kind of play with the colours, make sure I bring you pictures that I want you to see. Yeah? Okay.